On today's show, Ford announces a doubling down on its commitment to electric vehicles, promising to spend $22 billion on electrification in the next 4 years. Sandy Munro and Elon Musk sit down for a very nerdy chat, and Super Bowl fever hits the EV ad sphere in the US as General Motors, Audi and Porsche all step into the ad ring. These stories and more coming next. This is Ecotricity's ecoTEC roundup show from New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company. We only source from wind, hydro and solar, and we're the leading supplier of electricity to electric vehicles in New Zealand. Why not switch today at ecotricity.co.nz. Welcome back to another roundup in the world of clean cars and green energy. Thanks for joining me. We start today with the news that, following a trend that's now becoming fairly standard among mainstream automakers, Ford has said that it's doubling down on its electric vehicle investment. Its fourth quarter 2020 and full-year financial results, Ford's CEO Jim Farley said this week that the brand will increase its investment in both electric and autonomous vehicles through 2025. In total, it's committed to increasing the spending on electric vehicles to $22 billion in the next 4 years, while autonomous vehicles will get a total investment of $7 billion. With its Mach-E already being delivered and the Ford F-150 electric due next year, not to mention the all-electric e-Transit, Ford's roadmap for going electric has existed for some time. It's great to see another major automaker double down on EVs, but as many have noted, the timing seems a little coincidental to some of the US political changes of late. For many years, Apple has been rumoured to be working on its own fully autonomous electric vehicle, and because of the sheer amount of money that Apple has kicking around, it's been able to do all of that research and development in-house through a dedicated Skunk Works unit, meaning little is really known about its efforts outside of the company. In recent months, there's been some pretty big rumours flying around to suggest that Apple has been courting Kia as its preferred manufacturing partner for its first car. This week, a new report surfaced suggesting that Apple will invest $3.6 billion into Kia as part of a collaboration on the Apple car production line. Except that's now changed because, according to Gizmodo about an hour ago, Apple is no longer talking to Kia, it's not talking to the press, and neither is Kia. But apparently Apple is talking to other automakers. So your guess is as good as mine as to whether this is actually going to happen or not. Back to me from the past. Or maybe the future. We often cover news of major investments in the electric auto industry, but today we're doing something different, covering a sizable investment in the electric bicycle world. The recipient, Seattle-based Rad Power Bikes, which has just announced a minority investment of $150 million from a number of well-known institutions, including Counterpoint Global, Fidelity Management and Research Company, and the Rise Fund. The investment will be used to help Rad Power Bikes expand its presence in the United States, and the company says that it will have a retail and service network covering 75% of all of the US customers by the end of this year. I've ridden a Rad City Power Bike and reviewed it on this channel, so if you haven't checked that out, do so at the end of this show. Stone toadstools, aliens, quality control, and why you shouldn't buy a Tesla during a production ramp-up. These were just some of the things mentioned this week in a one-on-one between Tesla CEO Elon Musk and renowned automotive expert Sandy Munro. In a nearly hour-long video posted to the Munro Live YouTube channel, Musk chatted candidly and easily with the industry veteran and took Munro's feedback squarely on the chin. And remember, this is someone who once compared the build quality of an early Tesla Model 3 to a 1990s Kia, which you might have assumed would have made the interview rather tense. However, the Elon in that interview was frankly more like the Elon of a decade ago, undefensive, at ease, and willing to discuss the mistakes made, lessons learned, and hopes for the future. And that was really good to see. Harley Davidson unveiled its Hardwire 5-year strategic plan this week, and as you might expect, electric motorcycles will be playing a part. While there have been rumours suggesting Harley Davidson's true commitment to electric power was weak, the new 5-year plan pledges to make the brand as a whole a lot more profitable, as well as more desirable, part of which includes expanding the brand into the adventure touring market. Long way up, anyone? But there is, of course, also a commitment to, quote, lead in electric, with the creation of a new division of the company devoted to electric motorcycles. It's not clear that will mean something bad for gas bikes, but it certainly suggests stopping short of a full transition to electric. But given the company lost $100 million last year, I'd suggest it might have no choice. It's Super Bowl weekend, and that means, in the US at least, billions of dollars are about to be spent on the adverts that will play during the big game. This year, electric vehicles are featuring heavily, with GM bringing out Will Ferrell in a star-studded video that focuses on the fact that Norway currently leads the electric vehicle market and tells the country, "Norway, no way." The ad was quickly responded to by Audi, with a trio of slightly weird but fun ads featuring Norwegian and Game of Thrones actor Christopher Hyundai and the Audi e-tron. Meanwhile, Porsche came out with its own ad, Mr. E, which focuses on how electricity has been misunderstood to this point. They're all different, creative, and frankly a little weird, but enjoy watching them. It's official. After teasing us with sneak peeks last year, Amazon has now officially confirmed that the all-electric delivery vehicle developed for it by Rivian is on the road and delivering parcels. Initially, the all-electric trucks are operating in Los Angeles, but it's expected that as more Rivian-made Amazon trucks roll off the production line, the quirky delivery van with a smiling face will become a feature in most North American cities. Amazon is targeting 15 additional cities to roll out up to 10,000 trucks to by the end of this year. In addition to an all-electric drivetrain, the Rivian-made delivery trucks have a fully integrated Amazon Alexa system for route planning and vehicle system control, as well as a 360-degree camera system to help drivers make sure that they can see around the vehicle at all times. If you are not in the US, then you may not know that this past week featured a fairly significant weather event, as large parts of the US received significant snowfall. And in Lordstown, Ohio, that meant that the Lordstown Motors team had a chance to take the Alpha test vehicle, basically a Lordstown Endurance with no bodies on it, out to play. The result is a couple of new videos posted this week in which we see the test vehicle power sliding in the snow and showing off its power by speed ploughing a section of snow-covered test track. But while the video was meant to impress, it left me and others scratching our heads. You see, normally you would angle the snowplow to the left or the right as appropriate, but Lordstown didn't. And I've got to wonder why. The Boring Company, which is pretty much done with its Las Vegas loop, has confirmed that it's been given the green light to continue with negotiations on its latest project, known as the Ontario Loop. For those who don't know, the Ontario Loop is a proposed mass transit project in the San Bernardino County of California, and, if given the go-ahead, would consist of a 2.8-mile tunnel linking the airport to the nearest city, Rancho Cucamonga. Right now, the Boring Company is only possible contractor left for the project, so failing something major happening, it is likely to get the contract. The tunnel is expected to cost $85 million, but that's a small fraction of the originally proposed train link. Like Las Vegas, it would rely on Teslas to transport people through the tunnel. And finally, by now, I think pretty much everyone knows about the environmental aspirations of the new Biden White House, with President Biden recently promising to turn the entire US federal fleet 100% electric. This week, he's gone further, confirming his support for reinstating the federal tax credit for EVs at its previous level, but also extending the manufacturer limit beyond the 100,000 car limit that currently exists, which I'm sure was one of the reasons why the folks at GM Authority decided to take matters into their own hands and come up with a rendering for what they thought an all-electric version of the president's famous limousine, the Beast, might look like. The result? a Cadillac Lyric-faced presidential ride with no tailpipe emissions and presumably an Ultium battery pack. Of course, it isn't a reality yet, but we can hope, right? And on that note, we are done for the day. Make sure that you hit the notification bell below so you don't miss out on our next episode. And if you haven't already switched, why not consider switching to New Zealand's only carboNZero certified renewable electricity company? It is super easy to make the switch, and if you do, you'll be helping New Zealand wean itself off dirty energy and onto clean green power that will keep the land beautiful for many generations to come. I'll be back soon with more great videos for you to all enjoy, but until then, I'm Nikki Gordon-Bloomfield. Ka kite! See you next time.